All right. I got a call. Got a surprise for Mom. All right. Calling Mom. I have a surprise for her. All right. Bear with me, people. Got to get started here. Mom.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mom. Miracle Mom. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I have a surprise for you.
Oh, you do?
So you're gonna have one more person in your audience, and
one more person.
Testing 1 2. All right, hold on a second. Unmute mic. Uh-oh. All right. Hold on. I got to text him. See if you can do it.
No, I'm doing stuff right now. I thought I was just watching.
Did you hear that?
No, I can't hear. What happened?
All right. There's somebody else in here watching.
Somebody watching?
Yes, and he's doing something right now, and so I'll bring him up when he's ready. So
okay.
You gonna show us picture?
Hello.
Hold on. Are you ready? All right. Let's see. I got to do this a certain way because your picture's on screen. Hold on.
Okay. Well, you caught me off guard.
All right, here we go. Yeah, you're supposed to be caught off guard. Hold on. So you're gonna have to watch this back later because he's on screen. But
oh, is that Zeke?
You see him?
Hello.
Hi, Zeke. Oh, I love you.
Love you too. How you
I see
doing?
that palm tree.
Yeah,
She sees
I'm
the
in
palm
Florida.
Yes. Oh, it is so good to see you.
All right, Mom. Don't have a heart attack, please.
I'm at a cafe right now. I'm getting some breakfast before I go to work.
You're gonna make me cry.
No, Mom.
Tears of happiness.
So here's what's gonna happen. Zeke, Mom's gonna tell a story if she can not cry. This is something that really happened to her, and I'm glad she picked this story for today. I'm just going to switch sides here and put this up here. I'm still here, but I'm going to put Mom's picture up.
Okay. I'm so glad you're here, Z.
Wait, what happened? Oh.
Well, like I'm ordering food, so I'm going to have to start eating a little bit.
All right. Well, she's going to tell a story and you can eat. All right.
Okay.
And you can mute up. She's going to, I will guide the conversation, but you can sit there and eat in front of us, okay?
It's a story you need to pass on to your children, Zeke.
Okay, I will.
All right. So, I'm going to just shut up and let Mom tell this story. I've heard it, but I may chime in every now and then, but this is this is a miracle, basically, something that happened to Mom. The floor is yours if you can make it without crying, Mom.
Okay, well, you can chime in anytime you want to.
First of all, when did this happen? What was the year?
This happened on March 6th in 2014. Okay? 11 years ago. A little over 11 years ago. And it was when I was living in St. Paul at the time. And Vanessa was living with me, so I wasn't alone that day. which was a God thing as well. So I'm going to start, right from the beginning. Like I got up that morning on March 6th. I had been retired from nursing for a few years, so I had, lots of free time to myself now. And of course, the internet.
He's still there. He's still here. He's going to eat. So.
What?
He's listening.
Oh, okay. Well, at that time, I was 70 years old back then and retired. So got up that morning and went about my usual routine, got my coffee, got to my computer desk, sat down and had my TV on and doing what someone does who's retired in the morning. Anyway, was feeling fine. At that point in time, I had no health issues. Well, I shouldn't say it that way. I guess what's important to add is 3 weeks before this happened, I had surgery at Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, where the surgeon removed my last parathyroid gland. You have 4 of those in your neck, and three had been removed, and he went in and took out the last one because it developed a benign tumor. So that was 3 weeks before this event happened. And it's important to add that because it'll explain something later toward the end of my story.
Let me review real quick. So you had went to a doctor. You had a benign tumor?
Yes, on my last parathyroid gland.
That's right. Your parathyroid.
No more parathyroid glands.
Yeah. All right, good.
And to add a little bit to it, if they take out all your parathyroid glands, you have no parathyroid hormone, right?
Yep.
So I was told prior to the surgery, when we take it out, you're going to have to be taking 28 pills a day to counteract what we've just done to your body so that you can go on living with some hormone.
Right.
Anyway, that's a medical thing that's a little bit complicated. What happened was when he took out the last, this story is sort of 2 miracles together, but when he took out that last parathyroid gland, before they woke me up, he said they took blood samples every 10 minutes while I'm still under anesthesia to check the parathyroid hormone level. They were watching for it to drop because the gland is now gone. And that's standard procedure for that kind of surgery.
Gotcha.
Well, they checked my blood every 10 minutes for 30 minutes, and my parathyroid gland remained normal. He couldn't explain it at the time. So they ended the surgery, woke me up and said, well, you're going to have your parathyroid hormone level checked at least every 6 weeks. Because at the end of the surgery, you're still producing hormone, but we don't know where it's coming from. Okay. Then after he told me that, and I recovered, I came home, did some research, and I learned why that was happening and why I was producing parathyroid hormone. So this is ending up to be 2 stories in one, but it is important. What happened was in 1979, I had my first parathyroid gland removed. That was in 1979. I had a tumor that was benign on a parathyroid gland. The surgeon told me after the surgery, we went in, we got the tumor out, but we nicked the tumor. We nicked it. We sliced it accidentally while taking it out. And when that happened, you seeded little parathyroid hormone seeds in your chest. And it created a condition called parathyromatosis. So when that happened, of course, the surgeon didn't know years and years and years later, my last gland would be taken out. Well, because those things seeded in my chest, when Dr. Grant at Mayo removed the last gland, he didn't know it. But I already had seeded, whatever they call them, I don't know medically scientifically what they call them, had seeded into my chest and had prepared the way to provide me
Thyroid.
hormone later.
So let me just review this. So in 79, you had a tumor,
Yes,
a benign tumor, right?
yes.
And they went and were removing the tumor and took part of the thyroid gland when they were removing the tumor.
They
But
took the whole thyroid, or not the parathyroid gland, they took the whole thing out.
got it. And then, but they nicked the tumor, and a tumor is, not cancer, but it's abnormal cells, right?
Normal cells, little tiny ones that make hormone. Instead of one big gland, it's little microscopic cells that also produce hormone.
The tumor,
and it leaked. It leaked into my chest.
So the tumor itself had the material of the thyroid itself, right? It's like, so it's taking the actual makeup of the thyroid and its functionality, but it's a tumor, and so it's not a part of the thyroid, but so that's miraculous. I mean, that in itself, the way God designed even tumors. So some of that leaked out and stayed in there, even though they got the tumor out, and nobody knew that part, right? Okay.
Nobody knew that part, and I lost my train of thought.
Oh, that's all right. So fast forward.
The point being, I followed through. I had my parathyroid hormone level checked the way I was supposed to, and it has remained normal.
And this isn't
ever since.
So you got it removed in 1979, and then in 2014.
2014.
Yeah, in 2014.
In February. It was in February of 2014.
And what happened there again? You had.
Well, it was because from the original surgery I had in 79, that surgeon removed the parathyroid gland that had the tumor and then removed 2 more glands, because he said what will happen if we don't do this, if we don't take these others out, they are going to develop tumors anyway. They already knew that. That's just the way this thing worked.
Got it.
So he said, so to prevent that from happening, we're taking out the tumor, the gland that has a tumor, and then 2 other normal glands. We are going to leave you with 1 parathyroid gland.
And that was in 1979.
That was the surgery in 79. So from 79 until 2014, I had lived with 1 parathyroid gland.
Got it.
And over 30 some years, that one eventually developed the tumor.
And that's why you went to the doctor and
that's why I had to go to Mayo.
All right. Yeah. And this is all set up in context. We haven't even got to the good part yet.
Okay. Well, the point being, 3 weeks after that surgery, I got up one morning and all of a sudden I started just sitting in my chair, not doing anything, drinking my coffee, minding my own business. And all of a sudden I'm going to black out. I'm just going to pass out. And, I sort of jerked myself and coughed and took a deep breath, and it went away. I didn't have any symptoms, no pain, nothing changing, just I am going to black out. So I let that go. Well, to make a long story short, that started happening about every 20 minutes. The same thing would happen. And I would get up and walk around. I wasn't short of breath. I wasn't having chest pain. No pain in my head or in my brain.
You just had a sense.
Nothing.
You had a sense you were
Just the
about to.
sensation, I'm going to black out.
Mm.
I'm going to not faint. I'm just going to drop over. Everything started getting black. And it's like I was going backwards into blackness. Well, okay, this is where the foolish nurse person comes in.
That's you.
That would be me. And now remember, Vanessa was home. She was in her room doing whatever she was doing on her computer. And this went on for 2 to 3 hours. This went on. What am I waiting for? What is wrong with me? Don't you think you should do something, Bonnie? Oh, gosh. It's a thing. Well, it'll just pass. It's just a freaky thing. I'm thinking, oh, it's just a freaky thing and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, at the final moment, it happened again. But this time, this was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon by now. This time, it was like a bolt of lightning struck me on the top of my head and went through my entire body and out my feet. That's the only way I can describe it. And it wasn't a little pain in the chest. It was through the top of my head and out my toes. And it was as if God said, get help. And I screamed for Vanessa. She came running out of her room. I told her as quick as I could what was happening. She dialed 911. The crew showed up. In fact, the good nurse that I was, I had documented the time for those 3 hours that it had happened. I'm going to pass out, I'm going to black out. Mm-hmm. I had documented the time because I'm a good nurse. That's what you do.
And a bad patient.
Stuff.
Good nurse, bad patient.
Okay, I need to move this along. All right. So the EMTs, they put me in the ambulance. They take me to a local hospital. It was the community hospital in Maplewood. It was only 5 miles away, and they wanted to get me there in a hurry. So they get me to the hospital, take me in. The doctor comes in. He orders every test: EKG, chest X-ray, blood work, pee in a cup, all that stuff. He orders it all. He comes back in after all the results come in, and he looks at me and he says, well, everything is normal here. I don't even know what to tell you. You're not showing anything through all of the testing, especially EKG, that there's anything wrong. So he looked at me and he said, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out at the desk. We have monitors at the desk, so I can see, they had me hooked up to the monitoring for your heart. He could see that on video out at the desk. I'm going to go out and sit there, and I have to make a decision whether I need to keep you here overnight for observation. That's what I'm going to do. All right. I'm laying on that gurney. He goes out the door. The last thing I saw was him turn to the right, and my spirit left my body in that moment. And I am now standing. My spirit and my soul are standing in the Shekinah glory of God Almighty. The Bible says that God is light, and I was in his light. I knew I was in his light. I remained silent, and what came over me was, and I like to describe it as God I did not hear God's voice. There were no people. There were no angels. There was nobody. It was me in the light. And God saying, wait here. It was perfect peace, perfect love, no memory whatsoever of my life on earth. You hear in the New Testament where Paul will, the expression is actually said. Paul put it this way, being carried away in the Spirit. That's what happened to me. And as I'm in the light, the love of God is just, when I've shared this story, it's true every time. There are no words, even in the English language, to describe it. I can only just paint the picture with the words that I have available, but they aren't even enough. So I'm in the light and I'm waiting. And I'm at perfect peace where I want to be, obviously. And as I'm waiting, all of a sudden, a black pathway, just like a black asphalt path, like you would walk down maybe, in the woods or someplace nice out in the forest. It's just a black pathway appeared right in front of me. And I looked down, and my thinking, I was saying to myself, should I walk down? Do I walk down this path? Or is somebody coming? Because it went out into the light, and I was looking at where it disappeared into the light and thinking, maybe someone's coming to get me. That was my last thought, when all of a sudden I felt myself falling backwards and being pulled down by a force. And now I'm just being pulled down with force, and all of a sudden a hard thud, and I opened my eyes, and I was back in that ER room on the gurney. And the doctor was standing beside me on that gurney, and he's waving a piece of paper in front of my face. It felt like he was yelling at me. He probably wasn't, but it was. I opened my eyes, and he's waving this paper, and I'm trying to look at it, and he's saying, I need to get you out of here. I need to get you to St. Joseph's Hospital in St. Paul, to the cardiac unit, because your heart stopped. Your heart stopped for 90 seconds. It doesn't sound like much, but it did stop. We need to get you out of here. You need a pacemaker. We do not do that here at this hospital. We don't have the resources to do it. And as he's saying those words, in comes the ambulance crew. They're not wasting any time. They put me up on the gurney, get me going. We're going down the highway. Lights and sirens, lights and sirens. And of course, they're still monitoring me. My heart didn't stop again. But we're heading to St. Joseph's Hospital, where when I got there, they took me immediately up to the cardiac care center. That hospital is known for their cardiac care in that city. I went in the room, and there's 5 doctors waiting. And they surround me. They've got all the information. They've consulted with the ER doctor. They know what happened. By the time I got there, they're asking me all these questions. My blood pressure was stable. They had an IV going, giving me medication. I don't remember what it was now, but and what they decided. By this time, it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. And what they said was, right now you're stable. Your blood pressure's okay. We've got you here in the intensive care unit, and we're going to put that pacemaker in the morning. And sure enough, in the morning, I went to the cardiac cath lab, and they put the pacemaker in. That's what happened. And it wasn't until after all of that excitement, that I suddenly, I guess because of all the excitement, I hadn't focused on those 90 seconds when I had been carried away in the spirit. Now I want you all to look at the second hand on your watch or on your clock, because you're saying to yourself, what's the big deal? 90 seconds, what's the big deal? Well, I want you to watch that second hand, because if you're carried away in the spirit and you're in the Shekinah glory of God Almighty, it looks to me like a long time. Well, that's pretty much the whole story. And what I learned after that happened was, there's something in the Bible that says, do not cast your pearls before swine. It dawned on me, I can't run around just sharing this with everybody and jumping up and down with joy, because no. This was a gift from God. I don't know why. Well, I sort of know why, but be careful who you share this with. If you share it with a non-believer, they're going to make fun of you. They're going to say, oh, you were reacting to medication. They're going to do all that stuff that the world says.
Yeah.
Okay, Bonnie. Yeah, okay. Thanks for sharing. No, only share this with the people who know and understand and believe. Now, people say to me, what do you think? Why do you think God allowed that? Why would God do that? Well, I don't know. My God's a God of miracles. He's a God of gifts. He's a God of miracles. He can do what he wants. And he did that for me. But there is one thing that I've benefited from, if I need to. We live our belief by faith, and I understand that. But let me tell you, those 90 seconds erased any doubt, any fear, anything that might be disturbing about death. It's not death. That's the point. It's not death. When this body dies, as believers, we don't die. We begin to live in eternity. It's wonderful. And I think about it every day, because now I'm 81 and this body's not going to be here much longer. But I have no fear whatsoever, because I know I've been there. That's my story.
Thank you, Mom. So we obviously caught Zeke in the middle of his day. He's eating with
I
his
just
friends.
got my food. I just got it. It took
no,
30 minutes to get the food.
No, it's good. So you heard the story, and this is obviously recorded. You'll be able to listen back in the details. Mom, these are, she's a medical professional, so she knows the details of what happened and how unlikely, etc.
That all sounds so crazy.
Do you have any questions for her? And Mom, do you have any questions for Zeke?
Do I have any questions for Zeke?
Say it again, Zeke.
I love you, Grandma Bonnie. Miss you.
Well, I love you too, Zeke.
He's about to go. So tell her what your days are like, Zeke, right now.
Well, I'm a door knocker, so I wake up, try to get some physical activity. Yep. I wake up, try to get some physical activity going. We live like right next to the beach right now because we're doing like a blitz. So we travel to Daytona Beach. So I like to go in the water for a little bit. And then we have a meeting.
Oh, good.
Yeah, then we have a meeting at 1, and then we knock from like 2:30 to 9 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, and then after I like to go back in the ocean again before I go to bed. Nice.
Well, I'm so glad Zeke was able to be here. That's really special.
Thank you,
where's
Zeke.
Kezia and Annika? I'm kidding.
Well, we'll get them. I've decided to start with you. But so we're gonna wrap it up here. I know you have to go finish your food. It's inside, right? Your food.
Yep.
Thank you,
All right.
Zeke. I'm
Love
glad
you.
you were able to do it. Say
Bye-bye.
bye.
Love you
Say
guys.
bye, Mom.
Bye-bye. Bye, Grandma Bonnie.
Bye, Chica. I love you.
Love you.
Love
Miss
you.
you. Bye.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Surprise. I wasn't clear with him. I thought I wanted to have him come on, but I thought I was just going to be watching on YouTube. I'm like, no, man, you got to come and talk to your grandma. so I think, and I know he was listening because he would
Oh yeah.
he would respond like to things you said. I could see visually. So he has the earbud in his ear, even though he's with like 3 or 4 other guys right now. They all,
Oh,
you
okay.
know, it's with his crew. And so he, you know, it's not like he has his own, he doesn't have his own car there. He has to go with the team,
Oh,
etc. And so I'm glad he was able to squeeze this in.
yeah.
Surprise.
It was a surprise. I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah.
It's great.
Thank you, Mom. All right. Love you. I gotta go.
Okay. Love you too. Have a good day.
Love you, Mom.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.